Welcome back to KSL Outdoors, back here on the Columbia River Gorge. You know, if you're like me, if you come all this way, you want to learn a little history about the area, not just about the Columbia River, but the fishery itself. No better place to do that than right here on the first stop for fish on the Columbia River.
My name is Ben Hausman. I'm the supervisory fish biologist here at Bonneville Dam that you see behind me. What you see is the spillway. This structure was built in 1938, commissioned by FDR.
The Bonneville Lock and Dam project is a National Historic Landmark, a feat back in the day that helped alleviate unemployment during the Great Depression and provide electric power for economic development in the Pacific Northwest. Today, many of the dams along the Columbia River have the same authorized purposes as Bonneville Dam.
So we have water quality, we've got fish passage, we've got recreation, we've got hydropower, and we've got navigation. We're a little bit different than some of the other dams that we have two powerhouses, so that's somewhat unusual. But also our location adds that because it's the last dam on the Columbia. We're obviously the first one that adult returning fish encounter, so we want them to have the best opportunity to get past, as well as have some facilities allow us to get our hands on them, research, kind of get a feel for how fish passages. So this is the most used ladder pretty much on the Columbia River because anything that's coming up here has got to pass Bonneville. So as they come up, if we want to sample them in the adult facility here, we drop these picket leads and everything that's coming up is then directed into the building behind us. We got a little sockeye.
States, tribes, and other federal agencies collaborate with one common goal: study and manage native species like salmon, steelhead, sturgeon, northern pike minnow, and lamprey, and non-native species like the American shad, walleye, and smallmouth bass.
Our fish budget's in the $5 to $6 million range. Total project budget's probably about $30 million.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty good chunk.
Today, the Intertribal Fish Commission is sampling summer running salmon.
7-7.
They weigh and measure the fish, take a fin clip, and a few scales to study the fish, and then insert a pit tag to hopefully learn more about this Chinook's life and send the fish on its way.
So we look at it from both the juvenile and the adult side of things. These dams had ladders originally, so the adult fish were at least considered in the early days. The adult ladders have changed very little, really. I'd say we've made most of our progress on juvenile passage. It's just a little trickier.
It was interesting to me to see how much effort is made for not just counting the adult fish that swim upstream past the dams, but they also take great strides to make the dams passable for the juvenile fish returning to the ocean.
Yeah, no, it's a big system for sure, and there's a lot of inputs, and it's a complicated system, but like you said, the amount of people that are working on it, and there's a lot of passionate folks involved. Yeah, it makes it for a pretty rewarding place to work.
One thing's for sure, there's plenty to see here.
There's a steelhead.
You can actually watch the fish as they pass upriver in the Bonneville Dam fish viewing rooms, or head on over to the Bonneville Fish Hatchery, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife's largest hatchery facility where they incubate and rear Chinook and coho salmon. They also have ponds where you can feed large rainbow trout and view adult white sturgeon measuring more than 10 feet long.
So when you come out fishing with Captain Darrell, make sure you take a day, maybe a half a day, make the 45, 50-minute drive downstream to the Bonneville Dam here. Pretty spectacular display here of not only just the fishery, the dam, the history that's involved here. They got a great visitor center, worth the price of admission. And oh, by the way, it's free.